The rain fell hard against the glass walls of the skyscraper, blurring the glowing lights of the city beyond. Inside the office, Alexander Carter, a man everyone knew as the ruthless CEO of a billion-dollar corporation, sat in silence. His suit was flawless, his tie perfectly knotted, but his eyes told a different story. They carried exhaustion, a kind of loneliness that no amount of success or wealth could ever erase. He had spent years building his empire, making impossible deals, conquering boardrooms, and commanding respect wherever he went. But behind the mask of power and perfection was a man who quietly carried the heaviest responsibility of all, raising his little daughter, Emma, all alone after tragedy took away the love of his life. The world saw him as untouchable, the man who had it all. But the truth was, he ate his dinners in silence, stared at his daughter's drawings on the fridge with aching pride, and wondered how long he could go on pretending that he was fine. Tonight, however, his world was about to change in a way he never expected. What started as a harmless favor, a blind date arranged by a persistent friend, would lead him towards something his money could never buy. Because when Alexander walked into that small cafe that smelled of fresh bread and hope, he didn't know that his heart was about to recognize a face it had never seen before. And before we dive deeper into this heart-touching journey of love, healing, and second chances, I want to ask you something. If you believe in kindness, in the magic of unexpected love, and in the beauty of second chances, then please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need hope, comment your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to Royal Stories, because your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to life. Alexander wasn't a man who entertained blind dates. He didn't have the time, nor did he believe in them. His life was too structured, too carefully controlled, and the only person who had the right to his time outside work was little Emma. But his best friend and business partner, Ryan, insisted. Just one dinner, Alex. If not for you, then do it for me. The girl's cousin is expecting you, don't embarrass me. Reluctantly, Alexander agreed, never imagining it would be anything more than an hour wasted. He walked into the cafe in his tailored black suit, polished shoes clicking against the tiled floor, instantly standing out among the modestly dressed crowd. But then his eyes landed on her. She wasn't what he expected. No expensive jewelry, no perfectly styled hair, no airs of wealth or entitlement. She was sitting by the window, wearing a simple dress that had clearly been worn many times before, her hands folded nervously in her lap. Her dark hair fell in soft waves, and her face, though not painted with luxury makeup, carried a glow of sincerity and quiet strength. There was something about her presence, gentle yet unbreakable, that made Alexander pause. And in that single moment, before he even sat down, his chest tightened in a way it hadn't in years. Her name was Lily. She worked long shifts at a small bookstore, earning barely enough to pay rent and care for her ailing mother. She hadn't agreed to the blind date expecting love. In truth, she had agreed reluctantly, pressured by her cousin, and half convinced that men like this never truly cared for women like her. But as soon as she saw Alexander's eyes, sharp yet wounded, she felt something stir inside her. It was as if two lonely souls had recognized each other without a word. The date was awkward at first. Alexander was too used to boardroom conversations, too guarded to open up, while Lily was shy and unsure why a man of such power would even waste his evening on her. But, then, something shifted. The moment she laughed softly at one of his rare, clumsy attempts at humor, he realized how starved he had been for genuine connection. And when she asked, not about his money, his empire, or his power, but about his daughter, Alexander's heart nearly cracked open. No one asked about Emma. No one cared, yet Lily leaned forward, listening with shining eyes as he spoke of the little girl who was his entire world. That night ended not with sparks of romance, but with something far more rare, a quiet understanding. A bridge built between two very different lives. For days afterward, Alexander couldn't stop thinking about her. In the chaos of deals and deadlines, her face returned to him, soft and unpretentious, reminding him of something he had almost forgotten, that life wasn't meant to be conquered, it was meant to be shared. Their worlds, however, were far from simple. Lily, with her financial struggles and her sick mother depending on her, feared getting entangled with a man like Alexander. She knew what people would say, that she was chasing his money, that she didn't belong in his world of glittering wealth. Alexander, on the other hand, battled his own fears. Could a man who had lost so much, who had built walls as high as skyscrapers, truly allow himself to feel again? And more importantly, would bringing Lily into his life put her under the merciless spotlight of judgment that came with his name? Emma was the one who changed everything. The little girl, with her bright eyes and innocent smile, met Lily one quiet afternoon when Alexander, against his better judgment, invited her over for tea. Lily knelt down, not as a stranger forcing kindness, but as someone who truly saw the child for who she was, a little soul missing her mother's warmth. And Emma, in her innocent wisdom, clung to Lily's hand as if she had been waiting for her all along. That was the moment Alexander knew. He could lie to himself about his heart, but he couldn't deny what he saw in his daughter's eyes: acceptance, love, and hope. But love never comes without trials. The whispers began quickly, tabloids speculating, business rivals mocking, and so-called friends warning him that Lily would drag him down. For Lily, it was even harder. She faced stares, cold remarks, and the crushing pressure of feeling not enough. More than once, she thought about walking away, choosing to spare Alexander the scandal of being with someone like her. But every time she saw Emma smile, every time she felt Alexander's unspoken longing for peace, she stayed. Not for his money, not for the promise of a better life, but because for the first time in years, she felt seen, valued, and loved. The struggle was long. There were nights when Alexander's doubts consumed him, when he wondered if fate was being cruel to give him love only to threaten it again. There were days when Lily cried alone, wishing she could give him the kind of perfect partner the world expected. Yet, despite it all, they kept choosing each other. Quietly, stubbornly, with a love that grew not from luxury, but from broken pieces learning how to fit together. By the time Alexander stood on a rainy street corner, holding Lily's trembling hands as the city rushed by, he finally said the words he had been too afraid to admit. He told her that she wasn't just a chance he was willing to take, she was the reason he believed in tomorrow. And in her tears, he saw the truth. She had been waiting her whole life to hear that she was enough, just as she was. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe even a little more in love, healing, and the power of second chances, please take a moment to like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, share it with someone who might need this reminder, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Your support helps us continue bringing emotional stories that inspire and heal. And before we end, here's a special request. Comment below what love means to you. Is it sacrifice? Is it trust? Is it finding someone who sees your worth when the world doesn't? We would love to hear your thoughts.